Good day, I am Madame Anita, a 311 student of Chemistry Education and also the group leader for Group 2. These are my co-members. Origin of the United Nations. Before the United Nations existed, the League of the Nations was formed in 1920 after the World War I to maintain peace. However, the League failed to prevent another war because it lacked strong enforcement powers and major countries withdrew from it. During the World War II, world leaders realized of a need of stronger international organization to prevent the future wars and encourage cooperation among nations. The term used United Nations on the 1st of January 1942 when 26 countries signed a declaration by the United Nations promising to continue fighting against Axis power.
Let's talk about the failures of the League of Nations. One, they could not prevent the World War II. Then they had lack of participation by the major powers. Then thirdly, economic depression reduced the international cooperation among the countries.
Talking about the aims and principles of the United Nations. First, I'll talk about the aims of the United Nations. The number one there is the maintenance of international peace and security, which is talking about allowing peace in the country. And the second one, I'm talking about friendly relation among members of the nations, which is when there is a good relationship in the country, then there's equality in the country, it makes them united. And I'll be talking about the principles of the United Nations. The first principle is sovereign of equality among members, which is every members are equal no matter who they are. And the last one is fulfill obligations, and what it's saying there is that every member should always fulfill their obligations. That's all.
The main organ of the United Nations are the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Secretariat. The General Assembly are the main organ of the UN. They are responsible for the policy making, they are the main representative of the United Nations. Then we have the Security Council. They are the one responsible for the international peace and the international security. All were all founded in 1945 when the United Nations was organized.
Agencies of the United Nations. The specialized agencies of the United Nations are independent organizations established to perform specific duties under the UN system. They work together with the UN system to promote the peace, economic growth, social progress. These agencies handle different areas such as health, education, agriculture, communication, and transportation. Examples: World Health Organization, which is WHO, which deal with global health issues.
Members of the United Nations. The United Nations resolve conflicts through three major organs: the Security Council, the General Assembly, and the International Court of Justice. The Security Council maintains international peace by organizing peacekeeping mission. The General Assembly promotes peace cooperation among nations, discusses international issues, passes resolutions, and supports peacekeeping activities. The International Court of Justice settles legal disputes between nations according to international law, gives advisory opinions on global issues. Together, these organs prevent war, promote justice, and maintain world peace.
Peacekeeping and post-conflict peace building. As we all know, the UN works in preventing conflicts, help nations build peace, deploying peacekeepers, and creating conditions in order to maintain this peace. Now, peacekeepers are the personnel who are deployed by the UN in order to maintain the peace during and after the conflict. Now, peace builders are also individuals whose job is to gather protagonists in order to find the cause and effects of the conflict.
Conciliation, arbitration, and judicial settlements. Conciliation and arbitration and judicial settlements are peaceful ways to settle disputes. Conciliation is a non-binding process whereby a neutral helper suggests solutions and both parties decided whether to accept it. Arbitration is a binding process whereby a neutral arbitrator hears the case and make a decision both parties must follow. while judicial settlement is a binding process. A court or a tribunal apply law and issues of a final ruling. The key difference between arbitration, conciliation, and judicial settlement. Conciliation is a solution process. Arbitration is a private binding decision, while judicial settlement is a public binding decision made by court.
That Nigeria and Africa examples of UN conflict resolution. We look at how the UN theories work in practice within Africa. Then we have first, the Bakassi Peninsula dispute between Nigeria and Cameroon shows judicial settlement. Instead of war, both countries took the case to the International Court of Justice, which ruled in Cameroon's favor in the year 2002. Then Nigeria later handed over the territory peacefully through the Green Tree Agreement, showing how international law can prevent conflict. We also have, during the Liberian Civil War, the UN mission supported peacekeeping operations and post-war rebuilding support instead of allowing disputes escalate into war.
Disarmament and sanction. Disarmament are elimination or reduction of weapons to promote peace and prevent war among nations. It helps reduce violence, military spending, and spread of dangerous weapons. Sanction are the penalties placed on a country or group that violates international law. Disarmament and sanction. These are important tools used by the United Nations. It maintains international peace and security.
Strengths and weaknesses of the United Nations in resolving conflicts. One strength of the United Nations is that it helps maintain peace through peacekeeping, mediation, and humanitarian support in countries facing conflicts. It also helps countries settle disputes peacefully. However, the United Nations has weaknesses because some decisions can be delayed due to veto power of powerful countries in the Security Council. It also depends on the member nation for the supporting and funding. In conclusion, despite its challenges, the United Nations still plays an important role in promoting peace worldwide.